FOBTs are rigged, right? Don't we all know that by now? You know, everyone I used to go in the bookies with that played the FOBTs told me they were rigged. You know, the guys in there that you never met before, they were telling you they were rigged. Everyone online has got a conspiracy video telling you how FOBTs are rigged. That's why they're not landing on the number on roulette that you've bet on. That's why they give you a couple of little wins on the slots and then take all your money. They draw you in and then they take all your money. They're rigged to take all your money. The reason you lose time and time again on FOBTs is because you cheated. Now, this is a very, very common opinion, and it's also a very, very dangerous opinion. And in this video, I want to explain why. Firstly, it's absolute nonsense, and secondly, why the perpetuation and the belief in this absolute drivel is so, so dangerous. So let's address the fact that FOBTs are rigged in the first place. Now, this is quite an easy one to address, really, and you know, it can be summed up in one line: FOBTs aren't rigged because FOBTs don't need to be rigged. Now, for those who are watching maybe from, you know, abroad, from not the UK, a FOBT, just to clarify, is a fixed odds betting terminal. You've probably heard about them. They're in bookmakers, in betting shops here in the UK, and basically they give you the chance to play slots. They give you the chance to play roulette, blackjack, all sorts of casino games. You know, basically on a terminal in the bookmakers. Payout of up to £500. Formerly, you could bet up to £100 a spin, but they've actually recently brought in legislation towards the beginning of last year that allows you to only pay £2 a spin. Naturally, which means the game's been sped up and the bookies have found ways around this, so you can still lose an awful lot of money in a very short period of time. So going back to them being rigged, well, like I say, they're not rigged. They don't need to be rigged because, you know, the advantage is already in their hands. If you look at any game on a FOBT, there is a house edge. The smallest house edge is on roulette, where the payout is, what, 96%? You know, but that's still a house edge of, excuse me, of around 4%. Now, if you have a house edge of 4%, actually I think it's probably nearer 3, so don't quote me on that, but even if you've got a house edge of nearly 3%, right, for every £1 you're spending, it's taking 3 pence of your money on average. If you play it for long enough, every time you spin £1, on average it will take 3 pence of your money. And who's playing £1 a spin? Nobody. You know, formerly people were playing 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds a spin, £100 a spin, in which case it could have been taking £3 every time you spin the wheel on average. They don't need to be rigged. If you think of the amount of FOBT machines and the amount of bookies there were in the UK, you know, and all the amount of people playing roulette all at the same time, why would they need to rig it when you've got that many people losing 3% every 30 seconds? It's a great profit margin. They don't need to rig it against you further because they already have that advantage. You take that over to slots. Now, the common consensus seems to be that when you play a slot game, Rainbow Riches, for example, it will basically tease you. It will give you a couple of small wins, a couple of half-decent wins. It will let you get ahead on your balance to start with, and then it will suck and it will take all your money back and more, you know, in order to basically empty your wallet. And it's rigged to do this. It's fixed in a pattern. It's not a random game. Now, if you go onto the information screen on any of these games, it will tell you the RTP. Now, on roulette, like I say, it's particularly high, but on slots, it can be 80%, 84, 86, maybe 90%. You're playing 90%, even 90%, which is a decent RTP for a slot game. You're playing 90% RTP on £2 a spin. Every spin, every single spin, on average, it's going to be taking 20 pence off you. Every spin. And how quickly do the spins go through? You know? And this is presuming you don't have a bad run of luck. You know? These games are random, and this is the important element here. These games are random. They wouldn't say they were random if they weren't, because they wouldn't get away with it, and because it's not worth their licensing. You know, they don't need to cheat you. They don't need to fix and rig and, you know, cheat you out of money, because by their very nature, they're taking 10% off you every time you play these games. And you don't play one spin and lose 10%. It doesn't work like that. You play spin after spin after spin. You know, you may get the odd win, which you know, boosts your balance up, but ultimately, you sit and you play these games long enough, you will lose money. And as gamblers and as addicts, that's what we do. It goes back to the old adage: you can't win because you can't stop. You know, if you're able to play a few spins and you get a win and you leave, then it's feasible that you will walk away from these games in profit. But if you can't stop either on that session, or you can't stop because you keep going back for more, you're going to keep losing on average that 10% per spin, or that 8%, or that 12% per spin. You're going to keep losing that time and time again. So ultimately, you're going to lose. So this is common sense, but it doesn't stop people from saying, oh no, it's rigged, I was cheated, you know, the roulette wheels they're not worked out like normal roulette wheels. And I agree to an extent. It's not a random wheel spinning a random number. The number is determined before that you even see the wheel animation. That's why, you know, people who play roulette can probably tell you what number is landing in from the first couple of seconds of the spin. It's just a pre-recorded animation, you know, to show the result that the random number generator's picked. And, you know, let's face it, we all kind of know that. That's kind of common knowledge, really. But people will still insist that they're being cheated. I have a friend, and it's the same friend I referred to in previous videos. If you watch these, my apologies, mate, you know who you are, but yeah, I don't mean this in any way disrespectfully. But he will play solely black or red in the bookmakers. He doesn't so much anymore because of the £2 spin and the rest of it, but he used to bet black or red. Never hear a peep from him. If he was betting red and he got 3 or 4 reds on the bounce, he'd be delighted. He'd think he was God's gift to gambling, and he'd walk out there, you know, say he was betting a 10, he'd walk out there £80 up. You know? But if you got 3 or 4 blacks in a row, suddenly the machine wasn't random, it was rigged. It was conspiring against him to take all his money. And he wouldn't take a profit, he'd still keep playing, and then he'd lose eventually, and then he'd claim it was rigged. So, why do I think this is so dangerous? Why do I just think it's people, you know, just being a bit misinformed? It's because it's not people being misinformed. People want to think that they've been cheated because it covers up for their actions. You know, if you say you've been cheated, then you're kind of, you know, dispelling some of your own, you know, personal responsibility for gambling. You know, if you say I lost because I gambled too much on that roulette wheel, I should have taken my money. If you say I lost because I couldn't stop playing, then that is tantamount to admitting you have a gambling problem, that you're not able to control your gambling, you're not able to stop when you're ahead. That's basically what you're saying. But if you say, oh well, I was cheated, then you're putting the blame for your loss somewhere other than yourself. And that's particularly dangerous, to continue to be able to blame something else for your losses rather than the fact that you decided you were going to gamble in the first place. That's particularly dangerous. It's why people say only gamble with money you can afford to lose, because you should accept that if you gamble for long enough, you're going to lose that money. Say you dedicate 50 quid to gambling, right? You dedicate £50 to gambling online or playing the slots, whatever you want to do. You might get 2 minutes entertainment out of that. You might get a really bad run of luck, and it is luck because it's random. Or you might get to play for ages and really feel like you've got your 50 quid's worth of entertainment. That is how you should do it, but as gamblers, obviously, we can't do that. And if we have one of those sessions where your money lasts no time at all, you know, you literally have a bad run of luck, your numbers don't come in, your reels don't come in, then the easiest thing to do is say, oh well, it's obviously rigged, isn't it? I was obviously cheated out of this money. You know, not accepting that you chose to put that money in the first place and you've lost it, which was ultimately going to be the end result, whether, like I say, it was on that session or a following session. Put it this way. If you had a bet with a friend and said, look, we'll put £10 in the pot each and we'll roll a dice. You know, if I win, if the dice comes in 1 or 2, I win. If the dice comes in 3, 4, 5 or 6, you win. Right? You're going to lose more times than you're going to win, quite significantly. But that's not because the dice is rigged. The dice isn't coming in 3, 4, 5 or 6 because it's weighted or because it's cheating you. The dice doesn't care, you know. And if the casino was operating that game, the casino wouldn't care. Yes, it'll come in 1 or 2 occasionally and you'll win money. But the rest of the time, they're going to win the money. And that's exactly how FOBTs work. The percentage payout, which is there, it's right there on the help screen, look at it. You know, percentage payout is what on average the percentage of the money you'll get back. If it's less than 100%, the game's not rigged, it's just in the bookie's favour. So you're going to lose. You can't complain. If I was playing that game with my mate, I can't complain that the dice is rigged. I've accepted the odds are really bad. You know, I've accepted these odds, so I can't complain when I lose, and I can't complain that the dice was weighted, the dice was cheating me. It wasn't cheating me, it was behaving in a random fashion as dice should. The only thing is that I never stood a chance long term because the odds were against me, and that's exactly how FOBTs work. So if you're telling me the FOBTs are rigged, they're not. If you're telling me the FOBTs are designed to take your money, they absolutely are, and that's why there's such a significant house edge on some games such as slots, which prove so popular. But they're not rigged, and if you keep telling yourself they're rigged, if you keep convincing yourself that you're being cheated, then basically you're leaving yourself open to gamble, and you're leaving yourself open to say, look, I was cheated, or I had a bad run of luck, and that it'll be better next time, you know, that next time I'll win, or I'll just play a different machine that's not so rigged. Anyway, I hope that's of some interest. Thanks very much for watching. If you do like the video, and do think it's interesting or helpful, please do subscribe. I'm putting out quite a lot of videos at the moment, so hit that notification bell, and you'll be informed by the wizards of YouTube next time I post a video up. But on that note, have a great day. Stay gamble free if you can, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.